Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Luis, for this opportunity of interviewing about our technology here. As a quick introduction, this is Brahma Mishra. I am the founder and CEO of MeetMonk. I'm excited about MeetMonk because it is a deep tech AI startup that focuses on real-time speech recognition, transcription, which is essentially the Hansard function in the context of parliamentary discussions, as well as we are world's #1 AI technology driven startup that does a live conversational voice translation. So if in a multilingual setup, when you are speaking one particular language with participation from different users, different participants, different parliamentary groups speaking different languages all over the world, we can do a live translation and a transcription with complete diarization of different speakers simultaneously for up to 85 languages with very low latency and high accuracy. What it means is when you start speaking, it will start translating as well as transcribing the discussion in your language almost instantaneously. So that's the core of our technology. We are closely working with the Indian Parliament, which is going to implement the solution for their parliamentary floor discussions and committee discussions pretty soon. So India has 22 recognized official languages and hundreds of different dialects. So we are focusing on the 22 Indian languages for immediate transcription and translation as well. So without any further delay, let me go ahead and give you a flavor of what we do, and then I will open it up for any questions or any discussions. So this is our platform, which has got a few functions. One is simultaneous interpretation that I talked about, and we'll come to that in a minute. Then speech to text, it's basically the dictation function, or it's capturing your speech, and it is it'll print as we speak. Then transcript history, which will contain the history of all the discussions, and then the history. Let me go ahead and show you the speech to text just for a second to give you a flavor of what we do. So here you can, in the drop down, you can select many languages all over the world. So there are close to 85 languages here. And also you can search a language here. If I search, it will come up all the languages containing those letters. And you unmute and leave. So let me unmute and start speaking. Hello, good morning. How are you doing today? I'm really excited to have this discussion and the opportunity to show our technology and our platform. This particular feature enables us to really capture the audio inputs and start transcribing. Because I'm a single user here, what it does is it captures and puts it against my name or my profile. But if you have multiple users speaking, it will start capturing as multiple user profiles against their profiles, which I'll show as part of multilingual discussion in a minute. So this is how it captures. Let me go ahead and mute myself so that it doesn't capture anymore, so we can talk about it. So it takes the profile, it takes the timestamp, my local timestamp, and also the discussion in whichever language I speak. Let me get out of here. So once we speak this way, it captures everything, stores, and it is part of the transcript history that I'm going to show you now. So here, so I captured just now, so it is speech to text. If I've captured something in a simultaneous interpretation or simultaneous discussion thing, it captures it as simultaneous. And we have done several tests. So all these are listed with the timestamp, with the particular room name or subject or any discussion. So it captures everything. You can do a search by date. You can do several other things. So let me go ahead and show you. We had a discussion some time ago regarding a parliamentary subject. Let me click on this and show you how it comes along. Now, this is our main Hansard function of capturing the dictation, capturing the discussions. The entire discussion is captured here with diarization, which is the speaker identification. So here, if you see Robert, Daniel, and Mark, they were engaged in a discussion about certain things in the way debates and discussions happen in the British Parliament. And with the entire discussion, if you see at the bottom portion where the transcript is there, entire discussion is captured with the speaker identification. It's a pretty long discussion that happened. Then our artificial intelligence captures an accurate summary of the entire discussion. This summary is very accurate, very precise, and very to the point, identifying the entire the excerpt of the discussion. Now, to make sure that just in case to ensure the vetting happens correctly, and there's human in the loop, we also provide the entire audio file. So you can listen to the audio discussion and see if there is any mistake, which I'll show you in a second. So for example, let's take it here or where and start playing it. So it's now, see, the good thing is when I drag it, wherever I drag it, that portion is captured. So you know exactly which part is being discussed. And if there is any corrections that need to be done, it can be done here. So you can click on edit and that pops up. You can write whatever you want to write here, and then you can save it. I'm not going to save it because it's the real discussion. I close it. But if you wanted, you could save it and it'll change the transcript. So what essentially it does is it captures everything, gives a chance for review before the final output goes out. And that really makes the process much more efficient and very, very little time consuming. So let me show you how the audio and text are synced here.
Absolutely. People see the clips from question period on TV and think Parliament is just politicians yelling at each other. But that's just a surface. The real machine, the committees, the drafting of bills, the negotiations, that's what quietly keeps a country running.
True, but let's not sugarcoat it either. The part people see, the heckling and shouting, it does reflect something real about how adversarial the system can get. I sometimes
So what you saw here is you can hear the audio and you can see the transcript which is printed here. And if there is something, there's a background noise or a peculiar accent which troubles the artificial intelligence engine to not recognize one or two words, then you have the ability to go ahead and edit, like I told you a minute ago. So this makes it so much easier where you do not have in current manual system in many parliaments across the world, including the old way of running the Hansard function in Indian Parliament, which we are closely working with. What I saw is there are shorthand people that sit there in the galleries, hear the discussion and type it down, and then bring it back to their office and start typing. They first take notes on the parliament floor, shorthand notes, come back and start typing into the system. In that case, they don't have a reference to go back, and just in case they capture something wrongly or something happens, they have no way of going back. Here, what we have done is we have captured the entire true copy of the audio, exactly as was spoken on the parliament floor, the entire transcript with user identification, and a summary. So all three things together in one place to make life simpler. So that's what helps everybody to do this transcript. The other important part is once this is done, it is vetted, and we know the transcript is accurate, ready to be published officially. Then the last wonderful feature we have added is the ability to have this drop down. Let me do a share screen so that slightly change the share screen option so that you know how it looks. So let me go ahead and change to entire screen so that you can see what's happening here. So once this is all vetted and verified, all correct to be ready to be officially distributed among members, you can select a language and do a translation. So what it does is everything will be converted. For example, let's say Portuguese. I click on Portuguese and then say download. It instantaneously it translates and downloads as a document to be shared with members in a language that you have chosen from the drop down. So that makes it so much easier to verify, translate, and propagate. So now you see the entire transcript is captured here. My computer is running a little slow, so it's taking a little bit of time to do this, but see, now it has captured the summary the way it is. It has captured the transcript, and again, transcript has been captured by the users. So you know which speaker spoke what, and the transcript is captured, and you see all three things. So all these things that would have manually taken days or weeks to do, it has done in seconds. So it captured the whole discussion, created a summary, a transcript along with along with the speaker identification or diarization, we call it. So that's what this feature does. Now let me go back here and show a couple of other functions. When you go back here, and all the entire, so before I go, I'll just quickly show you here the entire transcript, whatever discussion has happened in multiple meetings, multiple debates, multiple discussions, everything is captured here with timestamp. And you can also you can separate out only simultaneous interpretation or not, what is the date, everything can be done here as a search function, as well, advanced search. One last thing I wanted to show you is simultaneous interpretation. So here you can just put a session name, which can be anything, your name, I'll put Brahma, and male or female, and language, let's say English here, and join. Once you join here, it comes up like this: how many participants, each participant, what language, and all that. Let me pick up my phone and try to log in here with the same session name. And try to join from here. So now you see I joined from my phone, and I joined with Hindi because I can speak the language, and it came up like this. Okay. Now, if I start speaking from here, it'll show up here. Let me see. सुप्रभात, आप कैसे हैं? आपका नाम क्या है? यहाँ पे मौसम बहुत बढ़िया है. Right now, I am अभी मैं एक डेमो कर रहा हूं पार्लियामेंट के डिस्कशन के ऊपर। आप बताएं आपको कैसा लग रहा है ये डेमो। मेरा ये विश्वास है कि ये बहुत अच्छा लगेगा। Now, I have muted my phone and I will start speaking from here. Hello, good morning. It is actually very good. I like the demo. Let me understand how this technology works and how it can be used in multiple parliamentary context.
यह वाकई बहुत अच्छा है। मुझे इसका डेमो पसंद आया। मुझे ये समझने दीजिए कि यह तकनीक कैसे काम करती है और इसे विभिन्न संसदीय संदर्भों में कैसे इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है।
So I hope you could hear the output from my phone, which was translating in Hindi. I will do one more time, and let me switch from Hindi to Spanish, to Espanol, so that you can probably relate. So when I chose Spanish, you saw here it changed from Hindi to Spanish. Let me repeat the same thing. Hello, good morning. How are you doing today? I am doing a demo on parliamentary transcript capture, and I hope you like the demo. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Estoy haciendo una manifestación sobre el tema parlamentario. Captura de transcripción. Espero que les guste la demostración. Cuéntenme qué les parece.
So this is how the simultaneous interpretation works. I can do one more test to do a translation in Portuguese, just for your understanding. All right, so now I am speaking again in English and hoping to translate into Portuguese on my phone. Let me know what you feel.
Tudo bem, então agora estou falando novamente.
All right, I am speaking in English and it will translate into Portuguese on my phone.
Tudo bem, estou falando em inglês e isso será traduzido para o português. No meu telefone.
Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. Now let me go out of here. So, and again, like I said, I had two devices. I have two devices. So that's why I showed how the translation happens between the two devices. If I go out of here and I show you how the transcripts are captured, I'll go back again to the transcript history and I will show you how it looks like. You will see the output. Now see, I just spoke just now, and this is how it looks like. So if I click on this, it will capture the discussion and it will capture the transcript as well. So it's say I logged in as a phone and logged in as my name on laptop. So that's how whatever I speak will be the different languages it captures as is, but the summary will be only in English for now. But again, depending on the requirements of the parliaments, we can have this summary in whichever language the parliament's preferences would be. But the overall, it creates a summary on the fly dynamically when right after the discussion is over, and it captures the detailed transcript with complete accurate diarization. So whatever the user logs in as, so it captures the entire discussion and it captures the discussion in the original context of original language that was spoken. Again, all the other features that I said captures, all are, all features are there, like downloading into multiple languages, ability to edit the discussion, and so on and so forth. When we interacted with multiple parliaments, when we had discussions with their parliamentary delegates, as well as the technology teams and the Hansard clerks and the people that take down the notes, we saw three main concerns coming out. One, the speed at which they need to publish the reports out right after the a discussion or a debate or a meeting is over. Number two, the accuracy of the capturing of the transcript. And the third one is having humans in the loop so that everything is vetted and not even a single wrong word or wrong phrase is circulated among the public. We capture all those requirements, all those concerns very effectively on this platform that uses high-end deep AI technology to correctly recognize audio inputs in multiple languages and translate and transcribe also. The primary function is transcribing, recognizing the different accents, different nuances of speech, and transcribing that discussion. Then the ability to translate on the fly, the ability to summarize the entire discussion and capture it probably in milliseconds after the discussions are over. And finally, presenting everything on a single screen, the original audio, the transcript that is generated, and the summary that is created from the transcript. Presenting everything in a single screen, which makes it very easy for the reviewers to look at it. If there is any need to make any updates, they can do the updates on the fly, save it, and publish it. With the ability, again, to the icing on the top is to provide the ability to translate in whichever language they need to circulate the output as well. So that reduces the time by 95%. Like I said, what would have taken days, if not weeks, to provide, now can be done in minutes with this technology. And and if there is, again, we are open to suggestions, feedback, and any comments to incorporate any other technological advancements, any other inputs from you guys. And Luis, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Brahma, for the very insightful presentation. I actually do. I have a lot of questions, if you allow me.
Yes.
We usually say for colleagues when we research about the use of AI in parliaments, that the low-hanging fruit for parliaments to gain the maximum amount of efficiency with a significant lower cost in terms of energy, financial, and everything would be on the transcriptions. Because you can generate much faster volumes of transcriptions. The colleagues working in Hansard, they obviously would manage the entire process, reviewing the final version. So my question to you is, the parliament that is still with the traditional transcription, with colleagues taking notes, what are the necessary steps for them to overcome before they actually implement a solution like MeetMonk's, for example? So what are the necessary phases they need to complete first before, for example, they reach out to you and Brahma, I want to work with this particular solution. So what would be your recommendations for these colleagues, if you allow me?
That's a great question. And the answer is, you'll be surprised, nothing. So when I say nothing, it comes with a caveat, and I'll explain what. The whole thing is the way it is implemented. Our AI has been trained to understand different voice variations and different accents. So all it takes is the ability to capture the voice. That's all. So in a parliamentary setup, if we have, if the Parliament figures out where to keep the microphones to capture their voice, it goes to our server. Then the Hansard staff just need to be familiar with the platform, need to have a user ID to log in, see the transcript, hear the original, because here they don't even need to be present on the floor to record the conversation, because as I showed you, the conversation is already recorded. The actual true copy of the audio is there. So they can even sit remotely, open their laptops or their system, hear the audio, and review the transcript. That's the biggest advantage, in which you don't have to be on the Parliament floor. You can hear as if you are sitting, even though you are sitting remotely in your office or wherever, it will be as if the discussion is happening right in front of you, because the actual audio is captured. That's the improvement. That's the kind of that's the differentiator, in which the audio and the related transcript is captured. So all you need for the staff to take 2 days training course to be familiar with the functioning of the system. That's all. They don't need to have any technical knowledge. They don't need to understand computers. They don't need to know coding, nothing. It's kind of, it's made for the users to start using it right away. Does that make sense, Luis?
It does. It absolutely does. Thank you for your comments. And let's go into the specific expertise that you have at MeetMonk, which is more than one language. We know that a few parliaments, they operate, let's say, in 2, 3, others even 20 languages, still focusing on the transcription. What are the additional challenges of providing this transcription, the Hansard, in multiple languages, and how you are working on that? And specifically, does it change anything on the implementation side? And any thoughts that you might give towards this specific domain?
Again, great question. And the answer is no. If whether you use one language or multiple languages, the Hansard function works the same way. The only difference is simultaneous interpretation. In many monolingual parliaments, there is no need to do a voice translation. So you can directly start capturing the audio and transcribing it on the fly. The system does that. However, I would like, when you brought in this insightful question, let me give you a caveat there. There are very subtle but important nuances between languages. For example, French in France versus French spoken in Canada has slight differences. Similarly, Espanol in Mexico versus in Argentina versus in Chile, they have a little bit of nuances. So our system tries to recognize those nuances and tries to decipher and transcribe correctly. And it's an ever-evolving thing. Our AI is getting trained every day to capture these differences. But like I said, this is an ongoing work. And with the advancement of AI technology, we are being very successful, but we continue to work on it to understand every single linguistic nuances, which is as complex as understanding the weather pattern, if not more. And like I said, we are mindful of that, and we are trying to provide country-specific language nuances.
Thank you very much, Brahma, for your comments on that. It's very interesting. I do have a question, which is an ongoing debate between colleagues that work on Hansard. If the automatic transcription and afterwards review from the Hansard officer in opposition should be completely manual transcription. My direct question is, in terms of time, does it really gain more efficiency, or what are your thoughts on this? And specifically, are there any processes for this particular department that should be adapted to incorporate artificial intelligence, specifically for the transcription and then for the diarization, let's say, for the session, which includes who is speaking at which moment about which topic. So what are your thoughts about this? Does it really gain more efficiency?
Okay, great. And it's a very loaded question. Efficiency-wise, absolutely. Like I said, from my practical experience, it cuts down the timing from weeks to minutes. So because you don't have to start writing every single word that is being spoken, identify the speaker, correct for the fillers, like somebody say, I think, then, a sentence follows. Our AI is trained to cut those out, unnecessary words. So it's very efficient in terms of capturing the transcript to the essence that is being discussed. And it captures everything for you. And if there are a few words wrong here and there, you are provided with the true copy audio to make those changes. So instead of typing down everything or using shorthand to write down everything, you are now presented with the information. All you need to do is correct. That makes it so much easier. And then once you click a button, it goes to their email boxes. If they want to receive the transcript of their speeches in their emails, all you have to do is download, press a button, and it goes there. It's that easy. However, the second part of your question is very important, which is the diarization. How does diarization happen? And what? So that depends on your AI policy and the procedure on the parliament floor. Many parliament, which I've seen, I've been to Chile Parliament, Parliament of Chile, I've been to Indian Parliament that I'm actively working with. What they do is they have microphones on tables. In certain parliaments, those tables are fixed by members. So when you log in to the system to enable the transcript to be captured, the user ID of the person sitting on the table is captured. Or you can log in to the system to start speaking, the user ID is captured. That is one way of diarization in which you know which person is speaking. The second person is by voice recognition, in which you can speak from anywhere. You can just speak outside the room. It will still capture you as Luis speaking. And that happens by understanding your voice signature. If a parliament wants to go that route, we have very advanced voice signature capturing, just that they have to provide to us 5 to 10 minutes of their voice signature beforehand. So they just take our system as a setup procedure. 5 minutes they speak to it, identifying themselves as the member, their name. Then system knows who they are, and then wherever they speak, it will capture, understand who the speaker is, and diarize accordingly. Again, we have developed these two very different features or two different approaches, keeping in mind the varied requirements by parliaments. Because these are driven by the AI adoption policies of the governments, we have kept this open and flexible so that we accept everybody's requirement.
Thank you very much, Brahma. And I do have one last question, if you allow me.
Sure.
Which is talking from your perspective as a technologist, thinking, what are the products that let's call it this way, that parliaments could develop after they have implemented an AI-generated answer, for example? I'm talking about, let's say, assistants that use this particular data on a RAG, for example. What kind of possibilities does it open for parliaments after they have implemented fully AI for the transcriptions in multiple languages or in one language? What are your thoughts about this?
Oh, the usage, the futuristic approach is limitless. So with this, because when we capture the transcript and when we capture the audio and the video and everything else, right? Everything internally is indexed. So now the exact same thing also we are working with the Indian government on kind of a downstream application of these discussions. Now imagine there is a budget discussion going on, and you capture, you do the Parliament incorporates a groundbreaking principle policy on the budget, right? 2-3 years down the line, you want to actually search for a particular policy decision that was discussed in a particular context, in the Parliament discussion, in a budget session or a winter session of a Parliament or something else. This, because this technology already has enabled the downstream applications, you can do a search and it'll, in a snap of a finger, it'll bring out the particular discussion that happened. Allow me to do a demo for another 2 minutes on a particular application that uses this, okay? So let me show you this application. This is an application that does okay. So this application shows you kind of a split view of all the videos and all the documents that were created in a parliamentary setup, and that all these are picked up directly from the speeches. So if you look at this, it captures, it takes the discussion, automatically divides it by what the speech represents. So it's a prime minister's speech, present or past. Depending on what they are, the videos are different. What are the different parliamentary sessions? Some metadata, some from the direct search. All these are picked up as a video and also as document. So it captures the videos, capture the documents. Then if I go and search for something, let's say I search for education. So see the beauty of this, it picks up the education, it translates into other languages. So the corresponding language in Hindi, it has picked up along with the particular phrase it has searched. And it has also done a cognitive search. What it means is when you talk about education, it's not just education. It is schools, colleges, universities, educational policies, and whatnot. It picks up all the all the associated words for against the search condition I gave, and it shows the documents as well as the videos. So if I click on a video here, and I click on a video, again the whole video comes up from the exact point where that phrase is uttered. The AI generated summary of the entire video and the transcript of the video, everything is generated in a millisecond. And if you see here,
सैनिक स्कूल चित्तौड़गढ़ पहुंचे, वहां से प्रतिष्ठित महाराज.
Yeah, it is speaking in Hindi, but the context is education. It's Indian education policy for schools and the kind of grants it provided to the school. So all this is captured and is displayed here. If I click on one thing here, it will pick up the whole transcript here, and the corresponding documents are also displayed. So the whole point of this showing is, and then you can come as a chatbot and type something particular. For example, let me take type something here. What is the education policy? It will give you the output, and then that also can be shown here in the document search or on the video search. So what I wanted to show you is these are the downstream applications of this AI technology, in which you are able to not only capture the transcript, but also slice and dice, index them, and store, so that either the members of the parliament or the public can do a search on them, get the exact policy information for, say, 50 years of such documents. They can pull it with a snap of a finger. That's the power of AI we're talking about.
That's fantastic, Brahma. Thank you very much for the very insightful presentation. Certain colleagues also are very excited with the prospects of using AI for answer. And I appreciate your time and your generosity on sharing all of your expertise with us here today.